Most people shopping for an off-grid battery fixate on one number: kilowatt hours. How much storage do I need? And that's a fair question, but it's not the first one. The first question is, where is this battery going? That single answer will eliminate half of the products on the market before you even read a single spec sheet. It determines whether you need a heating element, whether you need a weatherproof enclosure, whether you are doing a clean wall mount install or bolting something to a shed in rural Montana. And if you skip that question, you'll figure out the hard way. In January, when your new lithium battery sits in a 20-degree garage doing absolutely nothing because no one told you it won't charge below freezing. I'm Tatiana from A1 Solar Store, and today I'll walk you through 5 off-grid batteries for 2026, one for each real-world install scenario. By the end, you'll know exactly which one fits where you are. Quick chemistry foundation first, and then we get into it. Lead acid is the oldest and cheapest. It works, it's proven, and it's still being installed today. The trade-off: you only get about 50% of the rated capacity as a usable storage. A 400 amp-hour battery gives you roughly 200 amp-hours you can actually draw on. AGM is the sealed, maintenance-free version of lead acid. No water to add, no venting required, but the 50% rule still applies. Lithium iron phosphate is where the industry has moved, and for a good reason. 80 to 90% usable capacity, 2 to 4 times the cycle life of lead acid, lighter, faster to charge, and cheaper per kilowatt hour over the lifetime of the battery, even though it costs more upfront. The catch, and this is the one that bites people: lithium iron phosphate cannot charge safely below freezing, without a built-in heating, of course. Not a minor footnote. A real constraint that affects which battery belongs in which install. We'll call it out every time it matters. Let's start. Before lithium, there was lead acid, and Trojan has been the name in it longer than most solar companies have ever existed. The Solar SAES line is purpose-built for renewable energy application, which gives it a better cycle life than standard deep cycle lead acid. This is the 12-volt, 179 amp-hour version, sealed AGM, no maintenance, no water to add. Perfect. Here is the one number to keep in mind before you look at the price. To build a 48-volt bank, you will need 4 of these wired in series. That will give you about 8.6 kilowatt-hours rated and roughly 4.3 kilowatt-hours usable at the 50% limit. Need more capacity? Wire additional sets in parallel. The math adds up fast, so price it out as a complete bank before comparing to lithium options. The install scenario: you know lead acid, you've run it before, and you are not looking to learn a new chemistry or configure a BMS. You want the most solar optimized version of the technology you already trust, and you want it from a brand with a 40-year track record to back it up. Now we are in lithium, and we are starting with the scenario most people don't think about until they are already ordering. You have a clean indoor install space, but temperatures drop below freezing. The Midnite Solar MNPOWERFLO5 is 5.1 kilowatt hours, 100 amp hours, 48 volts, one self-contained unit, rack mountable, and it has a built-in heater. That heater isn't a marketing bullet point. It's the difference between a battery that charges reliably through a Minnesota winter and one that doesn't. Midnite Solar is a well-respected American brand. The same company makes charge controllers and inverters that professional installers have been trusting for years. This isn't a new entrant trying out energy storage. And on the more affordable end of the lithium range, 5.1 kilowatt hours of heated rack mount storage is a genuinely strong value for what it does. The honest limitation: this battery is a starter system. It covers a modest cabin, a workshop, or essential backup. If you are powering a full home through the night, you'll need more. But as a foundation to build on, it's hard to argue with. The scenario SimpliPHI battery is built for is one most people are actually in. You are not going all in on day one. You are starting with enough storage to prove the system, and you want the option to expand without tearing anything apart. SimpliPHI is made by Bricks in Stratton, the same company behind the power equipment that's been in American garages for generations. They brought that engineering mentality to energy storage, and it shows. The 6.6 is 130 amp hours, 48 volts, with an integrated BMS that handles cell balancing, temperature protection, and state of charge monitoring. Stackable means you can run one unit today, add a second next year when the budget allows, and add a third after that without redesigning your system. That kind of flexibility is worth paying for, and it's currently sitting well below its usual list price if you check the link in the description. This is the right battery if your energy situation will grow over time and you'd rather buy it into a platform than replace a whole bank down the road. Here is the install reality most battery manufacturers ignore. Sometimes there is no good indoor space. Not every off-grid home has a utility room with temperature-controlled walls. Sometimes it's a detached garage, a barn, or a wall in the south side of a house. The Discover Energy Helios handles that. 16.1 kilowatt hours, 48 volts, and it's rated for outdoor installation. That's a meaningful spec that rules out most of the lithium batteries on the market. For 16 kilowatt hours of outdoor-ready lithium iron phosphate, the price per kilowatt hour here is one of the best on this list. And 16 kilowatt hours in a single unit is enough to cover most homes' overnight draw without stringing multiple batteries together. One thing to note: the Helios is outdoor rated but not actively heated. In mild to moderate climates, it handles outdoor temperature swings well. If you are in a consistently hard freeze environment, think northern Minnesota, high altitude Colorado, the heated option at number 1 becomes a more important consideration. The install scenario. You need significant capacity, your space is outdoors or uncontrolled, and your winters are real but not extreme. Well, our top pick is Power Pro by EG4. It actually removes every install constraint at once. 14.3 kilowatt hours, 280 amp hours, 48 volts, outdoor rated, waterproof, heated. That combination doesn't exist in many products at this price point, and it matters because real off-grid builds rarely happen in ideal conditions. The built-in heater activates automatically when temperatures drop. The waterproof enclosure handles rain, humidity, and dust. You can mount this on the side of a house, in an unheated outbuilding, in a bar in upstate New York, and it will charge and perform through the winter without you doing anything. That's what separates it from the Helios at number 2. Both are outdoor rated. Only the Power Pro is outdoor rated and heated. At roughly $3,500 for 14.3 kilowatt hours, you are getting competitive value for what it does. Pair 2 units and you have over 28 kilowatt hours of outdoor ready heated storage, enough to run a real American home for well over a day without solar input. EG4 has become one of the most trusted names in American off-grid solar. The Power Pro is their flagship battery, and it earns the number 1 spot not because it's the biggest or the cheapest, but because it works in the most situations. Quick recap. Framed around your install. Existing LED ACET setup, want the best AGM available? Trojan Solar SAES. Clean indoor space, cold climate, starting with lithium? Midnite POWERFLO5. Building in phases and want to expand without rebuilding? SimpliPHI 6.6. Outdoor install, moderate climate, want maximum kilowatt hours per dollar? Discover Energy Helios. Outdoor install, cold climate, or you just want the option that works everywhere? EG4 Power Pro. One question before you go. What's your actual install space? Conditioned indoor, garage, or fully outside? And if you are in a cold climate, what does winter actually look like where you are? Drop that in the comments. It's genuinely the fastest way for me to point you in the right direction, and the answer will probably save you from buying the wrong battery. Links to all the 5 in the description with current pricing at A1 Solar Store. Check them today. Several of these are limited stock and inventory moves. I'm Tatiana. See you next time.